Welcome to Tech Tip Daily. Today we'll be going over some tips and tricks that help utilize ChatGPT in the workforce specifically. So to begin, what we'll do is open up our browser, in this case Google Chrome, and type in the accurate URL, which is chat.openai.com, as you can see there. Verify it's the right URL. Go to ChatGPT and go through the sign-in process. You can do so by simply connecting your Google account if you are using Google. Now, once signed in, one of the best things you can utilize ChatGPT for is data analysis. A lot of people don't recognize that ChatGPT has those capabilities. So to do so, you simply go ahead and add the data set or file you want it to be analyzing. So you can simply go and add photos and files from here, or add from apps if you have a connected app. You can go ahead and connect it to Google Drive and ask for it to read a specific file from there, connect it to Microsoft OneDrive, or connect to Microsoft OneDrive that's specific to work and school. In our case, we're gonna add a file directly from here, and I'm going to utilize one of my data sets that I have already. We're going to upload it, and I'm going to ask it, can you please tell me the total of my buys and sells, the total net profit or loss from my buys and sells from 2024. Let's do the last year. Please provide a table. So as you can see, not only can it read data, which it'll be reading from this data set here, but it'll also be capable of giving you some sort of graph or visual if you ask it to. We'll give it a second to analyze. Now once it analyzes this data, it'll actually give you a table of the amount that you bought or sold, in this case regarding my specific spreadsheet here. And depending on what data set you're using, it can analyze it no matter what file type it is. It can be a CSV, it can be an Excel file, it can be a spreadsheet. Anything that's compatible with ChatGPT, you can utilize it to analyze the data set, and then you can ask it questions regarding it. If things feel off, you can ask it further questions. However, there is a certain limit on how many data analysis questions you can ask on the free version. So if you're going to be doing a lot of accounting or a lot of data analysis, I recommend going and upgrading your plan because there will be a limit at some point. However, you can ask for it to provide a graph as well. And just like that, it'll be able to provide a graph as well and any other data that you, or visual data things that you want it to do. See, now as you can see, it says you've reached your data analysis limit. That's exactly what I've been talking about. So in the case that you would want to do this, you would have to pay for the plus. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait for pretty much a full day to use it again. However, it is very useful if you're using ChatGPT for work, and you can utilize it for almost any form of data. Another useful thing you can utilize ChatGPT for in the workspace is for responding to emails. So a lot of people understand that you can ask ChatGPT questions, but you can also ask it to basically write a professional email for you, and then you can edit yourself. So in the case that you had an email, you can go ahead and copy it, paste it into here, and then ask ChatGPT, can you help me write an email that is in professional sounding tone to the current email? And then you'd basically put it in quotations, and it can respond perfectly for you. It can also help you if you were looking for new jobs or something like that. You can have ChatGPT create you a resume by simply saying, can you help me create or upgrade my resume? Then you could simply go ahead down here, click and upload your resume, and it'll take a look at it. And you can even specify what field you're interested in, so that way it can design and order your resume that fits the specific field of interest that you're looking for. Now, as you can see, it goes ahead and basically asks you a bunch of questions so that you can frame your resume or your CV in the direction that you want it to be, and it'll basically follow all your prompts. So are you starting from scratch, or do you have an existing resume? You can say you have one if you want to upgrade and upload and upgrade. What kind of job industry are you targeting? This will help you frame your resume. Give your full background if you don't already have one uploaded, and you can ask if it wants to create a file for you. Yeah, so basically ChatGPT can actually create a PDF or Word file the same way it can, as we mentioned earlier with the data analysis. You can ask it to actually restructure data sets as well. So basically you can go ahead down here, as I mentioned earlier, click, Add from apps, you can connect any of these if you wanted to, either Google Drive or OneDrive, and ask it to upgrade a resume that's existing there, or you can upload it directly or completely start from scratch if you wanted to do something completely new. So between the resumes that you can create on your own, and as I mentioned earlier, just simply responding to emails by pasting the email in question and putting it in quotations saying, help me respond to this in whichever tone you prefer, let's say a professional tone, ChatGPT can do that perfectly for you. Now, another thing you can utilize ChatGPT for in the workspace is understanding different graphs or visual statistics. So in the case that you have a graph, in this case I went on Google and picked up one from the unemployment, at least the unemployment rate. I went ahead and you can go ahead and paste it here. Now you can ask ChatGPT, and this can be whatever graph or statistics you're wanting to analyze, and you can ask ChatGPT, can you explain this to me in simple language? This will help you understand different graphs or any other form of statistics if you have a hard time reading it. So now it'll take a look at it and basically give you a breakdown of exactly what's going on and basically the complete conclusion of what the graph is stating. This is an easy way for you to understand data sets without having to dive into it yourself, as ChatGPT will give you a good understanding of what is visually there and a breakdown of exactly what it sees and what it's looking at. As you see here, it gives a complete conclusion, like Canada had a huge spike in unemployment during COVID-19, got better over time, but not back to pre-COVID levels. The future outlook shows concerns about more job losses or a weaker economy in 2024. And that's just from the little data set that I had, but you can basically copy and paste any graph or chart, or you can upload it yourself and ask it the same thing, as I mentioned earlier with data analysis. Another useful feature that you can utilize ChatGPT for is uploading a picture. Apparently I can't upload more at this point, but basically uploading photos and asking it if it would be good for your workplace. For instance, if you are creating a new logo, you can ask, is this professional enough for the field that I'm in? So let's scroll down and find something that we created earlier, because that way we can use it as a reference. So we asked to upscale this. We can also ask it, is this a good logo for my food business? Obviously it's not, but it'll give us a breakdown on why it is or isn't. See, it's actually pretty considerate because it says the things that are actually useful for it, but why it might not work. It lacks food connection, and basically describes why this wouldn't be great. Then it'll provide you suggestions on what would be better for your business in question in this case. And we're mentioning food. As you can see, there's nothing involving food. It breaks down as to what you can do to fix it. And you can do that with any logo and basically upgrade it in a more professional manner that fits your field of interest. So as you can see here, it says add a food element, create a text version because you want to have something that would, visualize it, and use it as a mascot. So it's still, being respectful to you, but telling you what you can do to improve your logo. So don't feel shy uploading your logo and asking ChatGPT for advice on it. Now finally, another thing you can utilize with ChatGPT is basically uploading or pasting an image that you took, whether you're in a workplace or at school, where someone is basically writing on a whiteboard, and you took a picture. Let's say you're in class or at work and you want to take a picture of what was written, and you weren't able to make it all out, or you want to convert it basically to text format. You can ask ChatGPT to basically convert it for you. Can you convert everything written on the whiteboard in this picture to text format? And it'll basically analyze the photo that you upload. In this case, I took it from the web of a man basically writing on the whiteboard in a math class, and basically ChatGPT will analyze it and write exactly what it sees regarding the picture. It's always best to double check and verify that it's written correctly and that it was as accurate as possible, because sometimes it's not, but it'll give you the best reading that it can if the picture is clear. And see, as you can see here, due to the complexity in some parts being obscured or written in shorthand, this is a partial transcription. Would you like me to reconstruct the full set of equations? These are editable text, text-based visible patterns. You can say yes. I mean, this is a very complex example, but it gives you an idea of how it can analyze, and now it's going to double check and verify that it makes sense. And it'll give you a full text format of what we are dealing with. But it is fantastic, especially if you are a student or if you work in a very fast-paced work environment where people are writing on whiteboards or chalkboards, and you want to take a picture of it. You don't have time to write everything down, and then you want to convert that to text. ChatGPT is fantastic for that, and you'll get a pretty rough example of it like we just seen. So hopefully this video helped you guys out and you learned something new that you can utilize in the workplace while using ChatGPT. If you enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe, and have a nice day.